فلولا نفر من كل فرقة منهم طائفة ليتفقهوا في الدين.
Moving on, the sukoon is also a cause of two types of mad. Al-mad al-aridu lis-sukoon, the temporary or conditional mad due to waqf or stopping, and al-mad al-lazimu, the permanent or compulsory mad. If after the letter of mad, meaning alif wa or ya, the sukoon is temporary, it does not always remain, then it will be mad arid lis-sukoon. So if you look at these examples, تعلمون, نستعين, تكذبان, they are actually, normally we stop on these words, but they are actually تعلمون, نستعين, or تكذبان. If a person wants to carry on, that's why they say due to waqf, stopping. But if a person was to carry on, then it will have a haraka. But because we are stopping, we are giving those noons in all these examples a sukoon, and that sukoon is temporary. It is not permanent, because we're only doing it because we're stopping. If we are to carry on, we'll make it mutaharrik. So because we are stopping now, there's a sukoon which is appearing after a letter of mad. If you look in all three of these examples, the sukoon will now appear after a letter of mad. In ta'lamun, the waw is a letter of mad. Nasta'in, the ya is a letter of mad. And tukadhiban, the alif is a letter of mad. So therefore, al-mad arid lis-sukoon will take place. Note, it is called the temporary mad because the sukoon is temporary. That I've just explained now. The duration of mad arid is qasr, tawassut, or tul. Tul, like comes from the word tawil. Tawassut, as we know, it means in between or in the middle. And qasr we said qasir means short. Qasr is one alif. Tawassut is 3 to 4 alifs, and 5. Tul is pulled to the length of 5 alifs. So if you have 5 fingers, if you were to open it, a moderate opening or closing, this will be the duration of tul. There is no mad which is longer than tul. A person cannot say there is a 6 or 7 alifs mad, because there are only 5 that is the longest type or duration. If after the letter of mad the sukoon is permanent, it remains in all conditions during waqf or during waqf and wasl, then it will be made it will be mad lazim. Example, al-ana, qaf. Note, it is called the compulsory mad because the sukoon is compulsory or permanent. The duration of mad lazim is tul, 5 alifs only. So let us go back to these examples. Why is the mad, is it mad lazim compulsory? He said because the sukoon is permanent. If you look at al-ana, there's a hamza followed by alif. That alif is a letter of mad. The letter of mad is followed by a permanent sukoon on the lam. So therefore it is mad lazim. We do not read this word al-ana or al-ana, or the word in some places won't come ala-ana or ali'u in, or nothing like that. In all cases this word remains as al-ana. So therefore, because there is a permanent sukoon on this lam, we have to read mad lazim, which is a duration of 5 alifs. So we'll have to read al-ana. Now when we look at qaf, if we have to dissect it, the qaf, we open up this letter, meaning we write down on a piece of page a qaf with a alif, qaf with a fatha, then a alif which is always sukoon, followed by a fa which has a sukoon that spells. Now in that word itself, the fa has a sukoon which is permanent. Even when we are reading, normally we won't say qafa or qafi, qafu, or mima, mimi, mimu. It's mim. Or in this example, qaf. So because that sukoon on the fa in the word qaf is permanent, we'll have to pull it. So therefore, if you apply that on all the huruf muqatta'at, the separated words, or the beginning of some of the surah in the Quran, you will find that we are pulling there. Why are we pulling? Now we will know there's a intrinsic or permanent sukoon in that letter. So that's why we will read qaf, and we have to pull 5 alifs. A person cannot read qaf wal Quran al Majid or yasin. He has to say yasin. Why are we saying seen? Because in the seen in itself, at the end of that word, there's a noon in seen. That noon has a permanent sukoon, and it is followed by a letter of mad, seen, the ya. So therefore it is mad lazim. So therefore we will read yasin, and we can do this with all the huruf muqatta'at. Noon. If someone asks why you are pulling, because there is an intrinsic noon and it has a permanent sukoon, sakin, sakin. When alif lam, why are we saying lam and mim, all these things, they are all mad lazim. The duration of mad lazim is tall, we know this, and we cannot pull it less than 5 alifs.
وإذ قال إبراهيم